So this is going to be a very, very. So this is going to be a very, very tough topic to talk about, especially being from a heterosexual white male, because the internet already doesn't like us, right? Twitter already doesn't like us. Our opinion has no merit. So it's going to be a very, very tough subject to talk about, but I feel like I need to say something because everybody and their mom is sending me the articles like, Rob, talk about this, Rob, talk about this, Rob, talk about this. So I'm going to come at this from a different perspective, or at least try to. But I know going in, I'm going to piss off one side or another, if not both sides. But strap on, because we're going to talk about how DC Comics turned Jonathan Kent, a.k.a. Superman's son, bisexual. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms. As always, if you're finding me for the very first time, please be sure to click that like and subscribe button. That way you guys can stay up to date on all future content here on the channel. If you guys aren't aware of what's going on, DC Comics for Pride Month has turned Jonathan Kent, aka Superman's son, Kal-El's son, bisexual. In issue 5, you can see the cover right here. You can see the rainbow for the logo for Pride Month. They decided, okay, we're going to turn Jonathan Kent bisexual. This is more fuel to the LGBTQ community, the alphabet community. I don't understand why. Like, every month we feel like we're adding a new letter onto the LGBT tag. And, you know, let's kind of look at this because, again, I'm going to piss people off. I'm going to piss people off on either side of this, if not both sides. You know, being a heterosexual male, we have no opinion, especially in 2021. We have no opinion on anything. You know, we are looked at basically as the worst scum on earth. Even the good ones, like me, I feel like I'm a good person. You know, we are looked at as scum. We have no opinion on anything, especially anything to do with race or lesbian or gay or transsexual. We have none of that. I want to start off by saying, I don't care if you're gay, lesbian. I don't care if you suck dick, lick pussy. I don't care if you get your wiener chopped off, get an artificial penis, or I do not care. As long as your heart is pure and you're a good person and you don't bother me, I don't care what you do in your personal life. I honestly don't give a shit. I do have a problem, however, where we are starting to send the wrong message. Right? It's like, I don't care if you have a LGDPP Super D doo doo 1 2 3 XYZ character in comic books, but do we have to keep turning existing characters gay, lesbian, transsexual, what on, so forth? Like, what, do we have to keep doing this? You know, first it was years ago, it was Bobby, Iceman, in the X-Men. They turned him gay. Oh, apparently he was gay this entire time, but he was in the closet. Then a few months ago, Tim Drake came out as bisexual. And now Jonathan Kent is the latest to be part of the bisexual clan. Which doesn't even make, like, when you think of Superman's background being like the, you know, Mr. America farm boy, you know, I don't know. And I know a lot of people that reached out to me, and a lot of them said they are really turned off by this, and they're no longer going to read these comics. I don't care what you do in your comics, but why do you have to always keep taking these existing characters and turning them something that they're not? Now, I'm going to say something that's probably going to piss off a lot of people, but whatever, let's piss off a lot of people. I feel like we're sending the wrong message. It's okay to support LGBTQ, all this stuff, but there's comes a time where you're like really force feeding it down people's throats. Like, every time you turn around, it's like, boom, you're gonna like this, motherfucker. Take this, you white heterosexual male. You're gonna fucking love this shit. And it gets to a point where the more you try to force it down somebody's throat, the more they're gonna start to be like, come on, enough is enough. And I know people from all different races, all different sexual preferences that are just kind of getting fed up with this. Now, I'm going to look at this through a different perspective, and I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to kind of talk about kids today, right? I've dated women who have children. I have dated women who had children who are young, under the age of 13, and they constantly see on YouTube, social media, movies, television shows, Disney now, where characters are gay, lesbian, queer, transsexual, and all this, and it makes them question things that they don't even know yet. They're not even able to quantify in their brains what these things mean. I dated someone, I'm not going to mention any names, who had a young son, and the son wasn't even 13, and he thinks he's gay. You know, he thinks he's gay. How do you know that you're gay? You haven't even experienced life yet. Now, yes, in every aspect of life, there are different circumstances. Some people just born that way. But in a lot of ways now, I feel like if you grow up seeing this in your face all the time, it's basically sinners saying, hey, it's all right for me to go do this. It's all right for me to go do that. And they're not really... It's almost like it's putting the wrong messages in their head. Now, if they reach a certain age and they feel like, hey, I want to pursue God, I'm really attracted to God, I want to pursue God, then by all means, pursue God. Pursue whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy, pursue that in life. But I think it comes to a time where all these television shows, these movies, these comic books, these video games are really just kind of sending the wrong message to children, because now we're starting to tell children it's okay to do this before they actually really understand what it is that they're doing. You know, I'm not sitting there saying a guy and a girl is what life is meant to be, right? I'm not superficial. I'm not arrogant. I feel like love is love. You can't help who you fall in love with, right? Whether it's someone from the opposite sex, whether it's someone from the same sex, different race, opposite race, it doesn't matter. If you are in love with someone, it shouldn't matter what their gender is, what their race is, what their sexuality is, what their weight, their height. None of that matters. You can't help who you fall in love with. But I also feel that children are affected very, very early on. You know, you can see kids that they grow up in a horrible, violent household, and look how that kind of messes up their mind. Studies show that kids that experience trauma and stuff, it affects them later on. So if they're growing up and they're seeing, lesbians and gays on Disney Plus, they're already conditioning themselves that, hey, I want to suck dick. And that might be an extreme statement, and I'm just really kind of trying to joke around with a very, very serious topic. But I do feel like it comes to a point where I know if I was a father, and like I said, I've dated people with kids that I feel that like I was a father figure to them. And it makes me a little uncomfortable knowing that they have this out in the world, that they can see this at any given time, and they're not really given a choice because it's always in their face. It's always in their face. Now, if I had a daughter and she was like 15, 16, and she said, Dad, I'm really attracted to girls, I'm sorry. And I'll be like, there's nothing to be sorry about. You love who you love, and I love you for who you are. But when you get to the age of 10 and 11 and you automatically think you're gay or you want to get a sex change and all this stuff, I think it's way too early to make a logical decision on your own. And I think this is really sending the wrong messages to these children. And then that doesn't even talk about the underlying message of, or the underlying problem of, why are we always taking these characters and changing them just to appease one side? What about the fans of the other side? Fans that loved Jonathan Kent, loved Jonathan or Kello's son, or Tim Drake and all these, and they liked the way he was being written, and they liked the way he was already portrayed. And then you go in and you're like, oh no, he's bisexual now. If we don't like that, it automatically turns us as a homophobe or something that's negative, and it ain't that. We just like these characters the way they were. Why'd you have to change them on us? What's next? You're going to take Bruce Wayne and turn him bisexual or gay? I mean, Bruce Wayne, the biggest pussy hound in comic books other than Matt Murdock, and you're just going to turn him where do we draw the line? I don't care if you create new characters, but you're taking existing characters that already have lore, and you're just changing it just so you can change it to make a statement. Everything nowadays is a fucking statement. Movies, statement. Shows, statement. Fucking comic book statement. We can't even fucking enjoy shit anymore without someone trying to make a fucking statement to try to be politically correct and appease a certain side. It's okay to be proud. You can love whoever the fuck you want to love. But at what point does the stuff we love, our media, when does that stop being affected to try to appease somebody? This is a very, very sensitive subject, and I don't know how I'm coming across. I'm just talking, and I might be coming across absolutely horrible, and everybody might actually hate me for my opinion. But at the end of the day, that's just something I kind of feel, you know? And if you actually listen to what I'm saying I'm not against anything. I'm just saying, let's just be careful of how much stuff we're just splashing around. Because we do have a tendency, we are supposed to be role models for the next generation. And anybody looking at this generation, we have done some great things. You know, when George Floyd was killed, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, we all stood up to fight against the injustice. That was something that was really, really good. But we're also doing stuff that's really, really bad, and we're not setting up our next generation that's going to be taking over for us when we're all gone. We're not setting them up in a very good spot. It's okay to be open. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to express your feelings. But there comes a time where you got to look at it and be like, what kind of message are we really sending at the end of the day? Anyway, guys, touchy subject, I know, but I want to know what you guys think. Leave your comments in the comment box below. Till next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion. Later, guys.